Alright, so today I'm going to do some chipping practice. Go through a few things that I do to improve my chipping, keep it sharp, because obviously once you miss the green, you're going to rely on it very heavily. Now you have one of those days that you miss a lot of greens, that's going to be the difference between still playing your handicap, or even better, or having nowhere near your handicap, okay, and just blowing out your score big time. So that's where I think once you're feeling a bit more comfortable with your swing, you definitely look to have more of a focus on your short game. Okay, because your targets get smaller and smaller. You off the tee, nice wide fairway, hit the greens, obviously a bit more narrow than the fairway. Okay, then you get into miss the green, hitting chip shots. Your target necessarily isn't the hole, trying to hole out every shot, but a perimeter around the hole. And then you go to your putting, your hole's only this big. Okay, so as you get closer to the hole, your targets get smaller. So that's where once you get a bit more comfortable with your swing, hitting some good shots, you need to taper off your practice and really pick where you use your time, okay? And that's why putting practice is so important, okay? So yeah, here to do some chipping today. I've got two targets here, different length shots, different clubs that I'm gonna hit. I'll just go through a few different shots that I'll hit. But yeah, I put this target line down here just to help me with a little bit with alignment, but also making sure I keep the club out in front of me a little bit more through that takeaway, okay? Not out here necessarily, but it's very common for people to get stuck in there or to swing up and chop down, okay? So I like to have here just as a reference point, just to remind me of keeping soft hands, still using my shoulders, but making sure I'm not pulling the club around. Just keep that club going out along that target line and turning. So some, real basics with chipping. First of all, your setup. So feet together, little step, okay? Very simple. Keep that ball in the middle there, lean on that front leg a little bit, okay? From there, we're just gonna turn back and turn through. Okay, now I don't mind if you play with the ball position a bit, get a slightly higher shot, then you can play it more towards the front, as long as you're getting the club through, still turning, or you can put it back in your stance and really shut it down. But I think just to start out, let's keep it nice and simple. Feet together, little step, okay? A little bit of weight forward, hands forward. Okay, it's going to make it very easy for you to return the club back to the ball consistently. Okay, you get too caught up on that ball position, all right, it's going to cause a lot of inconsistency. You hit the ground first, scull the ball, all this sort of stuff. So feet together, little step, lean forward, hands forward, and you're going to stay there. And from there, we're just going to get the feeling of turning. Okay, now what I want you to do though when you're swinging is keep the Y. Okay, this is as simple as it gets. We create a Y with our front arm and club, and now the other arm. Okay, so we're getting that shape there, the letter Y. Now if we can maintain that through the swing, that's going to ensure when we get back to the ball that our hands are slightly forward, okay, making ball first contact, which is essential. One of the biggest problems I see a lot of amateurs have is when they come through and they try and flick it, or they fall back and try and lock the ball, okay, try and get up in the air. Let the club do the work for you. I'll go into some technique as well once I improve of how to hit the ball higher and stuff like that, hit the ball lower, higher, but right now it's just get a really good foundation, a really good basic sort of stock chip shot that you can rely on, okay, because that's the most important thing. Then once you get a bit more advanced, you can go for that flop shot, that low little skipper that pulls up, all sorts of things. But hey, if you can go around and most of the chip shots you have, if you have a really good foundation, a really good stock shot, you're gonna get yourself out of trouble pretty easily, okay? Let's hit a few shots. Feet together, little step, lean forward, hands forward, stay forward. Flush. That's horrendous. Like I said, once I get better, I'll be able to go to those other more advanced shots. Here, here, here. Okay, really important. It's like a pendulum, okay? The distance it goes back is the same as should go through. If you're finding you get a lot of inconsistency, or maybe you're getting underneath the ball, the ball's kind of popping up and falling, a couple of meters in front of you, good chance that either you're falling back or your hands are stopping and the club's going, adding a lot of loft to the club, okay, going straight underneath, and then the occasional drop kick hit the ground and scoots through, or just a plain scull that goes straight through the green. Okay, so making sure you're just keeping those hands out in front of the ball at impact, okay, to ensure you make ball first contact. We're gonna make sure we accelerate. So things like that, a little bit of a decel, hitting to the ground first, really have to trust it, okay? Really have to keep the body moving, trust the loft of the club to do the work for you, okay? It's very easy to get a bit tentative with it, okay? We've got 56 degrees of loft here, so that's plenty of loft to get a little bit of spin, have the ball land soft enough and pull up for me. Okay, I don't have to feel like I'm here and just get tentative and stop on it. Okay, you got to trust that spin that you get. Now it does make a big difference depending on what ball you use. So if you're using like a tour ball, like TP5 or something like that, you will find that you'll get more spin anyway, whereas if you say like the Tour Response or one of the kind of just the medium range balls, and they're not going to spin as much around the green, so they won't pull up as easily. Okay, but still we can trust the loft of the club, make sure you've got clean grooves to get as much spin as you can. Alright, so now that you've got that stock shot pretty well down pat, I'm sure, okay, feeling a bit more consistency, now we can play with it a bit, but using the same club. Okay, so we're going to do this just to get a bit more creative, use your imagination, understand how the club works and how changing your ball position can affect the ball flight. Yes, we could probably just go with a 60 and play in the middle and get a higher flight, but I want to use your imagination and then just get a better feeling. Okay, it's really going to help you feel around the greens as well and how you see shots. So we've got that middle shot, okay, ball position in the middle. Relatively, still comes out a bit low compared to say a pitch shot or full swing, but in terms of around the green, pretty standard sort of flight. Now we're going to throw the ball up in the front of your stance, okay? And then we'll hit the ball in the back of your stance. So nothing else changes, okay? Play that ball inside the front heel there, lean forward, hands forward, and through, okay? It's going to let the hands stay nice and soft and work through the ball. Again, making sure your hands are still slightly forward at impact. See that ball pop up nice and high. So then we're going to go, okay, well we've hit that shot a few times, let's play it in the back of our stance. And this is a really good one if you've got a bit of a nasty lie, okay, sitting down a bit. You want to make sure you play that ball in the back, so you just chop down the ball, comes out nice and low, scoots along. Now with the 56 and you hit it hard enough, you get a little bit of spin, check up. If not, it'll just trickle out to your intended target. So I'm going to play to the long one here, ball position back on my stance, keep my hands forward, chop down on it, comes out nice and low and just runs all the way to that back pin. Now that sort of shot, yes, you can play an 8-iron with, and something I'll go into a bit more in depth later on, but 56 again, let's use your imagination, use a 56, see how it reacts, and then you can have a better understanding of how different lofts of clubs also work. Okay, when you go to that club, try and hit that. Okay, then suddenly you have 9 shots in your bag with your 60, 56, 52, not just 3. So let's hit a few of these shots, have a bit of fun. So now we'll hit 3 shots, okay, to each flag. So we're going to go for that higher shot first, ball position front. Again, same rules apply, trying to keep that Y. Ball position middle. And then ball position back. Run it out there. All right, and again, a little challenge, going to go to that back flag as well. Ball position forward. A little bit heavy, got to make sure it's still turning through, okay? Easy to get stuck on that one. Ball position middle. Try it again, fraction thin. There we go. I'm going to work on my aiming. And then ball position back. So again, like I said, you get that ball sitting down in a divot or something like that. Put that ball in the back of the stance. Hands forward. Comes out real low, okay? It makes that shot a heck of a lot easier. All right, get nice and steep on it. Helps you make that ball first contact, squeeze it out there, and yeah, it works out really nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot out of it. Pretty simple stuff, okay? Again, work through it, give it some practice. I prefer to start with a 56. I think it's a bit more versatile. You still hit that higher shot, you hit that lower shot definitely, okay? And it's that nice mid-range shot. With a 60, you definitely feel like with that lower shot, you have to keep your hand a long way forward. Obviously, you get a ball higher, and then 52, easy to keep it low, but struggle to keep it up. So I would start with 56, get comfortable with that first, then go to your other clubs and fiddle around and have a bit of fun. So what are you waiting for? Get it done.